Good morning, everybody. I apologize for the bit of technical difficulties I had with last night's video, but fortunately, it's been fixed, and hopefully, you find the video helpful. It seems to be doing all right. So, what I wanted to get into today is another narcissism topic by the most sneaky, most devious forms of narcissists that will put you down and make you question what's going on. They're the best at getting inside your head, and they're the best at making others believe that they're not up to anything mischievous, that, they're just telling the truth, but they're spinning their own narrative. I am, of course, talking about the covert narcissist, the type of narcissist that can hide who they really are and what they really are far better than the chest-thumping overt narcissist, or, of course, far better than the world revolves around me, I'll have a meltdown when things don't revolve around me borderline. So, obviously, most people, when they think of a narcissist, are familiar with the loud, thump their chest, overt narcissist. That seems to be the more well-known type. It may or may not be the more common type. We don't really know, to be honest. But, there are narcissists that aren't as visibly grandiose. That would be the covert narc, Overt narcs are usually pretty easy to spot. Coverts, as I said, can hide. They can present new challenges. They can sometimes seem meek, innocent, even self-deprecating in moments, and even humble at first. Of course, that all changes when they achieve even the smallest bit of any kind of power. They'll exploit it just like any other narc. But when they're still playing their game to get that power, they can really hide well. So, as you know from my previous videos on covert narcs, they have a quieter nature and seemingly sensitive facade. Some can even appear as dark empaths. So, what are these three sneaky tactics that the covert narcissist will use to gaslight you, to put you down, and make you question what's going on? Well, the first one is they will use mixed put downs, double meanings, and coded languages. So a mixed put down basically occurs when a covert narcissist is threatened by somebody else's intelligence, looks, charisma, popularity, anything of that nature. Any time someone that they deem as threatening, usually somebody with integrity, somebody very genuine, like an INFJ or an ENFJ that people seem to be drawn to, and especially someone that'll stand up for others, that'll go against the covert narcissist play for power, because they're usually, especially in a work environment, brown-nosing the person above them so that they can become their number two and then thus exploit that power. So yeah, anybody that's standing up for others, that people are drawn to, like a natural leader, covert narcissists can't have that. They can't have that person, surpassing them, because then the game's over. So, in doing this, the covert narcissist will, start to casually put that person down. Will start to gaslight and triangulate people against this natural leader, and it'll be behind your back. The covert narcissist will, at this time, usually be, very friendly, cordial, professional towards their target. But as soon as their back's turned, well, that's when they say what they really think. And that's when they say what they want to get others to believe at all costs. So they'll question the target's abilities. If anybody's giving them compliments of any kind, looks or what have you, they'll question that because it's deemed as if they deem that as a threat to them. They deem it as a threat. So covert narcissists want this to get in your head. They want to spread this gaslighting so that people other than them are the ones saying it to the target. So you're not thinking it's coming directly from the covert narc. You think it's coming from other people. And then you start to question yourself, and you start to question your abilities. You start to question, your own confidence in yourself, and gets in your head. That's what the covert narcissist wants. So now you don't know, if what you know to be true is true, and you're slowly starting to believe the covert narcissist narrative about you. And thus that'll keep you down and allow the covert narcissist to continue to have the pull they have over the people around you, and possibly you too. Covert narcissists, when using this tactic, often contradict themselves. So narcissists contradict themselves all the time, but covert narcissists won't say the same thing, one day to another. That's an easy way of knowing that this is going on, where their stories are constantly changing. What they're saying doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. It's all over the place. It all depends on who they're mad at the time, or if you've quote unquote gained any ground against them as they perceive it. Yeah, I took some note for this one. Now, with coded languages, they will engage in what's called code of languages. This can be involved like putting you down and poking fun at you as sort of in a playful manner, like, just busting balls, but they're not. They're trying to twist people's opinions of you. I went through this a few months ago when I started dating somebody. There was a borderline who was obsessed with her, and her covert narcissist enabler who thought everybody was her property. She couldn't have that. So this is when that started. And when this happens, this coded languages, these seemingly innocent putdowns that are going to happen all the time, they'll come out of nowhere. Covert narcissists will turn on you like that. As soon as you're not useful to them anymore, as soon as they know that you're not a part of their plan and you're not going to fall in line, that's when, you're not going to submit to their almighty authority that they've given themselves. That's when this is going to come out. They're going to try to use coded language to make sure that you look as bad as possible in front of everybody. So then that, of course, everybody will believe what the covert narcissist narrative, and they'll continue to harass you through gaslighting. They'll play subtle mind games. Covert narcissists, using this tactic, it's a long game. They're not like the overt or the borderline that just throws a meltdown and freaks out and makes threats and threatens self-harm until they get their way. Essentially, in this tactic of a covert narcissist, the victim reduces our own cognitive dissonance, and you start to choose to believe what the covert narcissist is saying. Number 2 of their 3 sneaky tactics, the Great Division. The covert narcissist does whatever possible to distract you from the fact that they are putting you down in the first place. That means they will create all sorts of divisions to get you from staying grounded in your own sense of what just happened. So they're going to get you to question the narrative. Now, after technique 1, they have the cognitive dissonance. They've started to isolate you from people, the people that were close to you, the people egging you to perhaps create a better workplace environment, perhaps the person you were involved in romantically. But that's not enough. Yes, they've gotten, they've triangulated, they've gotten all that. But the Great Division, this is where the big cognitive dissonance comes in. The covert narcissist wants the target to believe their version of events. So everything will start to go bad around you. People changing like that, people turning on you like that. You're going to know something's up. It's like, what happened? There's no nothing clear that you did. It's like you went from hero to zero like that. So now you're wondering what's up, what's going on. Someone's out to get me. It's obvious. You may not know why and you may not know who, but somebody's gaslighting you. They're going to try to twist the narrative at this point so that whatever lies they spew that don't add up or even make sense, and a lot of times with revisionist history too. In my case, the covert narcissist was actually one of the people who set me up with the girl that I was seeing, and then changed her mind, and she wanted her to date this other girl, and even though she wasn't in the girls and she was way too pretty for this other girl, it doesn't matter. The covert narc deemed that's what was to happen. So they'll twist facts and rewrite history to get you to question what really happened, because they know that this was all done, by narcissistic tactics, by triangulation, by gaslighting, by narcissistic control, by threats of narcissistic rage, or with narcissistic rage, especially if overts and borderlines are involved within the narcissistic circle. They can't have you going to people and being like, what happened? Well, here's the sequence of events. Like, when did this all go wrong? Who was out to get me? See, they can't have that. This is where they try to not only make you question the sequence of events, but they try to retcon everything to paint you as the villain. And it doesn't matter what they make up, that you're just supposed to believe. And they think the more they say it, that makes it true. Like, if I just keep saying it's true, then eventually it'll be true. But as you know, just continue to tell people the sequence of events as they actually happen, and don't even, expect people to rely on your word. Point out like certain events that the covert narcissist is trying to rewrite and be like, well, wait a minute, that's not how this went down. Like, and don't take my word for it. Here's the other people that were there. And that'll start to expose what the covert narcissist is doing, because when there's multiple witnesses of different events, it's very hard to rewrite all those events in favor of the covert narcissist, the covert narcs version. So that's another sneaky event. They're going to try to get you to doubt what really happened. They're going to try to rewrite history. They're going to try to paint you as the villain, because at this point their plans work, but now they got to cover up that they were being a devious narcissist because they don't want to be exposed. And typically some of the people they go after are the type of people that would expose them for what they are, because once they get exposed as the narcissist, not only does the plan backfire, but their whole game's up. Third tactic is tunnel vision and minimalization. This is when the narcissist develops tunnel vision and is hyper-focused on something irrelevant or unrelated to minimizing something you have accomplished or are proud of something. Now, this is usually something you have that they don't. So if you're in a workplace environment and you have, say, way more experience in that job than the narcissist, perhaps you have, university degrees in that subject that they don't have. You've worked at other places of employment doing the same thing, and the narc hasn't, where they brown nose their way to the top, good old boy system, little nepotism, little cronyism, that kind of thing. And they know it, and they know they're not qualified. They know they're just a brown noser. They got to minimize all your accomplishments, because that's something they don't have that most people respect. So they have to say how that's irrelevant, because they have to continue to exude that narrative that they're the best at everything they touch, and they're just, born the lead. Like, they don't need experience. They just know it. They're them. Like, this is destiny. Like, what do you mean? I'm entitled to be a leader, to order people around. I'm me. Like, I'm better than you. That's the narcissist. So anything that can contradict that narrative, or perhaps point them out as incompetent and just a brown noser, or a nepotist, they have to minimize, the authority that the person saying that has. And if somebody is speaking from years of experience, speaking from a place of authority, because perhaps they've been in that place of authority before and they know like what that person is supposed to be able to do, that's big. Or on the romantic side of the thing, if the covert narcissist is picked a new target and they're lying to the new target they're involved in romantically, like about their past, trying to rewrite history, and you, the person they were gaslighting, knows their past because you were there for part of it, like you saw it firsthand, you can definitively and correctly, with a lot of veracity, contradict their narrative. They can't have that. They have to discredit you. They have to try to tunnel vision on you to discredit all points of view that give you credibility, so that they can keep the narrative they want in place. And they'll chip away at any parts of you. Like for me, they always try to go after, my integrity. That really seems to be a sticking point for them. I had one not long ago tried to rewrite what I went through in Arlington, Virginia. The covert narcissist in question has never been to Arlington, Virginia, never has been a firefighter, but somehow they know what went. That doesn't know anybody there either, by the way. But, that's that narc. I just know. They just know. Don't ever let someone get away with saying they just know. So remember, a covert narcissist is going to try to cause you to feel insecure, uncertain, and unbalanced. This is often because they don't want to deal with their own emotional issues and the fact that they are not as special and unique, qualified, beautiful, etc. as what they think you are. So keep in mind, these are the 3 sneaky gaslighting tactics that a covert narcissist is going to use to discredit a target. It's important to know, though, this is a long game for them. Covert narcs play the long game far better than overt. Borderlines, in my opinion, aren't capable of it. So be aware of that, all right? This is the 3 main tactics they're going to use over time. They're going to build on each other. I gave you a hint of how to deal with them. So hopefully that was helpful. Remember to trust your intuition. If you think these tactics are being used against you, take precautions, take countermeasures as soon as you think it's going on. And remember, don't appease a covert narcissist. Don't sell out your integrity to go along with their narrative just to go along to get along, because you're playing right into their hands if you do.